Hey folks, Mark here. I'm going to do a continuation of the single, combined, and sequential body movement to teach you how you can apply them. Remember, anytime your body is moving, you're generating force. And the way to manifest that force is through the mechanics of your limbs and your structure. So, this doesn't look like much of a movement. It's a single movement, right? So what? Big deal. Well, add in that. All right. Now we have a direction of my body, and the direction of my force is going to be delivered this way. Okay? Well, when we take a single motion and we turn it into a sequential process, remember this? What we can do is we adjust our hands or limbs to manifest the force, the new force that we're creating. So if I come in this way, there you've got force going that way, my limbs are going that way, everything's aimed that way. So I come in this way, right? But what happens if I then turn and change my orientation? Well, doesn't look like much. All I'm doing is this. But if I strike and then I change my arm, right? I move my arm, and when I turn this way, what I'm doing is I'm manifesting the single movement of the turn into a side throw. Now, this can be used in so many ways. So, like, if I punch, boom, okay, I've got my force going that way. It's my body mechanics that way. It's a combined. But if I muckle onto the guy, or I grab the back of his head, and then I turn, right? What I'm doing is I'm delivering the new direction and force through an alteration in my limb. And look at it from the standpoint of, if I punch and then pull back, right? The only way I'm delivering force is that way. Why? Why should I only do one thing? Because every time I do one thing and there's a pause in between my next thing, I give him time to reset. So I hit him, and that's what my punch did, but when I retract, he comes back. So if I can actually chain these things together, like I said, sequential, right? My hit comes in here, I've got the force, right? Now I muckle onto him, and when I turn, I'm creating and delivering a different force. In this particular case, two of them. One is this way, the other is this way. So when I've hit him, if I grab onto his limb, right, and then I turn, I am pulling him and I'm pushing him, and I'm not letting up. There is no time for him to recover, because the effects of my blow, right, are still happening when I begin to deliver new force. Now, this is not to brag, but to give you an idea of what the difference is. Have you ever seen anybody do a wave master or a bob, standing bag, where they go ba 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 ba, and bob kind of goes eh. Well, every time they would retract, that lets bob set back up. I cannot do a bob. I cannot work on a bob with more than 3 hits before he falls over. All right, because like I hit, right? Fine, there's my hit. Now, even if I don't change, I'm keeping him off balance here, and as I come forward again and I hit, and there's all single movement. I do not allow there to be gaps in between the power that I'm delivering. And looking at your motion in this regard is really, really important. because you hit the guy with a wave of things. Now, with any circular motion, right, one side is generating force this way, the other side is generating force this way. And you can actually apply both forces by just making a connection with structure. Now, when I say connect with structure, if I grab onto the guy's arm, right, and I step back, notice I didn't move my arm. I'll do it sideways here. I grab, and I step back. This is a structure that immediate motion, right, or my body's motion is immediately applied to him. Okay? Really, really, really important, because I do not move my arm until later. So if I'm hitting and I grab onto him and I start moving backwards, I have the mechanisms, I have the mechanics to start dragging him. And I'm not letting him go, but I'm not accelerating him either. Now, I'm going to do it this way. So I hit and I grab, right? Now I'm beginning to pull him. My body weight is moving his body weight. And I'm pulling him off balance. I want to start him moving with my body weight. Very, very important. Because when I hit and I start with my body to move him, then my arm motion accelerates him. But I've already broken his structure. The other thing is, when I come in and I am maintaining structure with my grab, I'm not, look at the shift here. See the springy here? Okay. So basically, if I don't have structure when I move with my limb, okay, what's going to happen is that my body will shift and my arm will find structure. But for that split second, I'm losing. This is slack, and it's, you know, I got to eat up the slack before I begin to apply pressure. I don't want to do that. I want from right here, from the second I muckle onto him, I am now applying pulling pressure. And the timing of it is, again, my body moves, I get him moving, then I accelerate, right? And by the way, my favorite acceleration is, I say, put him in your pocket, right? It's not just a straight pull, it's a downward pull. Okay? So, look at your moves. And I mean, you can analyze your body mechanics using these tools